with us Mr. Captain Vishal,
Thank you.
who is the author of Accidental Sailor. Extremely honored to have you as a part of this interview.
I'm privileged.
Yes.
That's right.
So, before we proceed, so an author, how does it feel?
Never thought of it that way. I mean, it's something you do, you like everything else.
Mm.
So there's a point of time I was sitting and writing at sea, and then there's a point of time when I met Jyoti and went through this journey. So never really gave it a thought as that, and I don't identify as an author. It's just something I do. Like I sail a ship and I write books.
So there was no moment for you where you felt like, oh my god, I'm a published author. Some sort of a fan moment or something where someone's like, my god, it's a very nice book. Somewhere you felt like, okay, I've done something different.
I'm not sure. It's just when people tell me, like for example, recently I met somebody in a shipping company in Chennai, CEO of the company, and I showed him this book. So he said, "Oh my God! I mean, you are able to do these kind of things. It's quite something."
Correct.
It still did not register, deep enough. I mean, like it's not a big deal, I think.
It is a very big deal, absolutely. I mean, what you did is sort of like a dream for many. They don't have that courage to put down what they're thinking, right? So many of them have that. So, but you took that step ahead to like put down whatever you're thinking or feeling. It's very, very courageous, according to me.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Although I think it's just sum total of small steps.
Correct.
Because I also attended a workshop for authors, and he said, and of course, was it Scott Peck or somebody who's written this book, and he said that you just need to set aside a time and sit.
Correct.
Whether you write or not doesn't matter.
Correct.
But X number of hours every day, go to your table.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it started with me just sitting and staring out at the sea and sky and horizon. And for the most part, no inspiration, no words flowing, nothing. It used to be like maybe once in a couple of days or a week, words used to flow, intuitively. But actually, this thing is true. What people say, the experts and the professionals, that you just maintain a discipline and things will happen. So there has, sometime the day came when I would go and sit and I would start writing immediately. And even now, so it's been a couple of months since I actually got on to writing my next book.
Correct.
The manuscript is there. So I just picked up my laptop and I don't even know, maybe 2-3 minutes, and I was writing.
Very nice.
So I think that discipline.
Correct.
And that's all there is to it. And I think for every, whether it's a hobby or a profession, it's only 20% which is that excitement, the fun and all of that. You take acting or you take sailing, whatever. The rest 80% is all drudgery and dreary and boring. But it needs to be done.
Correct. So you think this discipline of sitting down and doing what you want came in from your life at sea?
Not really. I think it's just like it comes from inside.
Correct. So even if you weren't necessarily a sailor or someone as in the forces,
I guess.
you think you would have the same thing?
I suppose so.
Okay.
I've usually not been so disciplined, but over the years I've trained myself.
Correct.
So maybe it comes from that, from a lot of study.
Correct. So as soon as someone picks the book, right, and this is something we've had a conversation, but letting the viewers see.
Sure.
You see the word accidental. Why accidental?
See, I think that is where it brings in that kind of an intrigue, a fun and a mystery element into the entire thing.
Correct.
Because somebody who's planned it and or desired to be out at sea and become a seafarer, life might get pretty predictable because they'll have a set agenda and a set plan, and they'll go through let's say the college and exams and all of that like clockwork, and go take their promotions and do the stuff like that. But somebody who's an accidental, let's say a seafarer, or who had absolutely no clue, this character Lima, about the sea, and he just lands up over there by chance. And it's fun to observe the journey of and the voyages of such a person who keeps stumbling through the entire journey at sea. There is no plan, there is no agenda. So he's been sailing, he comes back home, and suddenly decides, okay, maybe let me go to college. I'll finish part ABC, come back, and maybe go to sea. And in between something else happens, and even the day-to-day life, taking promotions and like going from one day to the next,
Correct.
morning to noon to night
Correct.
at sea. Nothing is fixed. So it adds a lot of adventure and even a lot of risk to the entire thing.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's I think a more interesting read for people who would take
Correct.
up this.
Absolutely. So, was there any point, any part of the story which is your favorite, and any part which was very difficult to write?
I would say that tragedies are always difficult to write because as a writer, at least this is how I do it, I identify with every character that I write about. Otherwise, you can't capture the
Correct.
emotion.
Absolutely. Correct.
So even if I had to write a dialogue of like 3 words of a particular character, I go into that skin. I think in how the way they would. And obviously, when you're writing the tragedy, and I'd see there in those days, a lot of women used to be out at sea, as in the seafarers' wives, and they're obviously not seamen, so they're not trained. And when tragedy strikes, they feel certain things, they feel emotions, and they probably a lot of things flash by in front of
Correct.
their eyes, that what is happening, what is going on. I could have chosen not to be here
Correct.
in this situation.
Correct.
So to go through that gamut of emotions and then put it down there, at times it can actually make the writer cry.
Correct.
So it's pretty hard writing that. I think the fun and adventure and let's say the laughter is opposite, but it's similar. Again, you go through all those emotions.
Correct. Correct.
So there are 2 tragedies, one in this book and the other one in the part 2,
Correct.
which is upcoming soon. And I mean, it's just that it's fiction, it's fictionalized, but
There's still reality to it.
yeah, because I portrayed it like that.
Correct.
There is a logic, there is a common sense, there is seamanship, and that's actually how things would happen out at sea.
Correct.
Like for example, a ship colliding and sinking, loss of life and property. The other one, which involved just one casualty, it's very intense. Very intense because I have portrayed what that meant and how each seafarer on that ship connected to that casualty, to that incident, and what it meant for each and every person.
Correct.
I think that was really hard. That was really hard. Of course, the fun incidents and all the hilarious and humorous stuff is also good.
Yeah.
Another hard thing, I think, very tough to capture is something which is seemingly inanimate, the sea itself.
Correct.
But it's so
Correct.
dynamic, it is alive.
Correct.
And you tend to, as a writer, tend to instill a life into it, a soul, and then you want to write about it.
Correct.
And now you want to feel what a sea would feel as a living being, or a sky, or
Correct.
the ship itself, because
Correct.
the ship, in the olden days we used to identify the ship as she, her. And I have my own reasoning for that. Nowadays it's not allowed. But, it feels like a human,
Correct.
like a living soul. So to capture those things and to put them out, so I think some of those things will be out in book 2.
Correct.
In this, not much of that is captured, but it is pretty challenging to be putting down all that on paper.
Yeah.
And to capture it so that the reader can also feel the same.
Correct. I mean, you're getting in that relatability is a task of itself, right?
It is.
Where, you want the person reading it to feel in the moment that you were actually imagining it to be.
Yeah.
That's very nice. So you've lived on the sea, on the ship for quite some time.
Yes.
What's your favorite part of it?
So there have been times when, at least as a captain, when you are maneuvering the ship, and I've been sailing on the second largest ships of the world, in the category of what I do, bulk carriers. Sometimes there is this feeling, but very rarely, when you carry off a certain maneuver,
Correct.
which is tricky, and there is a sense of pride, but it's not exactly pride. There is a sense of, let's say, achievement, because you feel that this ship is like 300 meters long. It's 300,000 or 250,000 tons.
Correct. My God.
And one mind is controlling it.
Wow. I
giving
can actually
a-
imagine it. Feels nice.
It does. So when you're standing right there on top and looking out and at the sea and at the ship and all that steel and that cargo and the lives on it, 20 people, it kind of feels surreal that a man is able to control it safely, not bang anything, and just take it from point A to point B over like 50-60 days of a voyage. I think some people have asked me, so how does it feel to be in command?
Correct.
And I don't feel anything except at some rare moments like this.
Pride.
And of course, there are those moments when you're in, let's say, rough weather, very rough weather. So you need to have a confidence in yourself and your ship.
Correct.
I think it's more of a psychological game that your ship can go through it.
Correct.
And there are those moments of intense worry and tension, stress, where can I actually make it through? Because there was this time of South Africa, usually weather is a big ship, and we are empty, no cargo. So we were, usually our sailing speed is 12 to 13 to 14 knots.
Okay.
We were bound to Brazil. That particular night, speed fell consistently down to about 1.9 to 2 knots.
My God, okay.
That bad the weather
Okay.
was. I think I saw 1 or 2 ships who were doing minus.
Okay.
Minus speed. Their engines are running ahead, but they're not moving ahead.
Okay.
It was that bad. So then, you get that feeling, can I actually get out of this? And more importantly, can I take my people safely out?
Yeah.
And taking people safely out means I have to take the ship out.
Correct.
That is not the way.
Correct.
So you get a lot of self-doubt and you're all of that. But when you get out successfully and then you see a bright, beautiful morning and a sunrise, it's a great feeling.
It's like you see life in a day itself, like rough weather, and then you're everything. That's wonderful. That's great.
On that note, in a single voyage of like 45 to 50 days from Brazil to China, invariably I get to see all 4 seasons.
Wow. Okay.
In that single voyage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think you're very lucky that you got to experience that.
Yes, in a
To
way.
be honest, I won't even say it in any other word. I'm very jealous of that.
Thank you.
So, when you sat down to write the book, was there any purpose of writing for you? Or, you thought that when it's published, I hope this does this.
Excuse me.
Did you have any sort of a goal?
Yeah.
that way?
So the book did not come first. The purpose came first.
Correct.
And there were 2 distinct purposes, or rather 2 distinct audiences. And so I started writing with that aim in my mind to serve those 2 different audiences. So one was, and of course it was suggested by a colleague of mine. The other thing was literally demanded by some friends and family. So the purpose was that for the pre-C, for boys and girls who are desirous of joining C, but they don't know what it is all about, and nobody tells them. So this boy, this colleague of mine, my junior, who motivated me to write, he was recounting his pre-C days. He was the same age as me, but he remained as a second officer. Unfortunately, he's no more now. So he said during his pre-C, they had found a book in the library written by a chief engineer. It was a romance novel set at sea on the ship. So the girl is some fisherman's folk daughter, and this guy is some second engineer or some captain. Now that would give little tidbits of life at sea. Not because it was focused on the romantic part of it, but there was just one copy written in Tamil. So these boys literally used to be fighting for it, and it was in tatters. So it circulated among 250 boys in every batch. So this guy told me that, so if you were to write the actual life of sea, and I teach at an institute, not me, him. You bring the book, and I'll get it circulated to all these boys and girls who want to know about the sea, because they teach you subjects, they teach you navigation, all of that. They paint a picture of the sea with uniform and money and all of that, but it's not entirely true. So that was one purpose. The second was my friends and my relatives. I remember I made a video call to a friend of mine just after departure port. I still had the GSM network, so I showed him around, and in between I was issuing some orders, hard port, full ahead now, all that. This guy was literally floored, and I asked, what's the big deal? He says, man, I'm getting to see this for real. Which they dramatize in the movies.
Exactly.
Still, it's not the real deal, but this is the real thing. I want more of this. So I said, how about if I write about it? I said, you write or you shoot a video, you shoot pictures, doesn't matter, we want it. And there are more, there are many like me, so just write.
Absolutely.
So that's where I got this motivation to write.
How is the reaction with the people now, with your friends who asked you to write? How is it with your family?
Family of course loved it. My mom is, they loved it. It's like a whole range of emotions when you read it. It is fiction, but it is factual as well. As in, it's real. It's not dramatized. And not like the movies. It affords you a real glimpse into life at sea. So, it's not gone around so much yet, but whoever my friends read, they did like it.
Nice.
And
any favorite reactions?
No, I don't think so as yet. Not as yet.
Okay, nice.
Or maybe I missed it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, what I feel with all our interactions, whenever we've met, you're a beautiful storyteller, and you have that way of capturing and making a person picturize what you're thinking. I'm pretty sure Accidental Sailor is going to go a long way. Might be a slow start, but I'm pretty sure it's going to catch up pace eventually. And I'm very lucky that we're going to still work on a couple of other books as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm sure that they are going to do really well as well.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
I hope your words ring true.
Very much. I hope to. So,
yes.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
We have a long way to go. Good luck once again.
Yeah, we'll sail on the voyage together.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Everybody go grab your copies on Amazon. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.